fast forward to the early 70s, a little town, Imperial Valley. In the Imperial Valley, Imperial, California, there was a restaurant named La Hacienda, and my parents both happened to work there. My dad was a server and my mom was a cook. And my dad's sisters and his mother and my mom's sister all worked there. My mom, we'll just call her Tia E for the purposes of this podcast. My Tia E had met my dad and kept sharing with my mom that she was going to introduce her to the man that my mom was going to end up marrying. So I don't know how long it was before my aunt was finally able to introduce them. And my mom was not impressed. She actually had some not very kind words to say, but basically she says she wouldn't even be going to the corner with my dad. But she had her words because she ended up marrying him and she ended up having 2 daughters with him. So she went much further than the corner with him. So they were married pretty young. My dad was 19 and my mom was 20. And they didn't last very long. I don't have any memories of my parents living together. They were divorced by, I think, when I was around 2 years old. So I don't have a lot of memories. Actually, I don't have any memories of them living together, but I do have very fond memories of my dad's family, especially my grandmother and her house and visiting there when we would get to visit dad's family. With my mom, I did have an aunt that I used to love to visit, my mom's sister, who lived in Tijuana, and we did used to get to go there sometimes weeks at a time. My mom would take us and we'd stay with my aunt in Tijuana. So I do have one aunt that I felt close to as a child when on my mother's side. But other than that, my mother's family, they didn't get along really well. So we did not spend a lot of time with them. But it was the opposite with my dad's family. They were always very united. I had a lot of cousins there. And I always looked forward to coming to visit. And if I got to spend the night, even better, because my dad lived at my grandma's house when I was young, before he had married his second wife. So I have beautiful memories of those times in my life. Some of the earliest memories that I have of those times are when we did get to go visit my dad's family. And my dad continued to work at that restaurant after my parents were divorced. So we would love to go to the restaurant and we would get something called a special quesadilla. So if you can imagine, this is a quesadilla on a flour tortilla that has the ends have been folded, kind of like a big like empanada or turnover, and then they take that and they deep fry it. So when you eat it, it's all crispy. And then whenever we went to visit, we would make sure to get a special quesadilla at the restaurant. And then if we got to spend the night, we would wait up for my dad, and I would tap my sister wake up my sister when I would hear him come in, and then we would both go lay with him, and he would spread his arms wide open, and my sister would lay on one arm and I would lay on the other arm. But that's one of the most beautiful memories that I have of any time that I got to spend with my dad. Going back to my aunt in Tijuana, when we used to get to stay with her, like the best memories were that there was this candy lady, and so we would take money and we'd go buy candy. She had a little cutout window at her apartment, and you would go up to the window and you would order, like your churritos or your mazapanes or whatever candies you wanted. And then always when it was dinner time and my aunt was making dinner, which was usually some kind of soup, I just remember having caldo or fideo. Then my sister and I and my cousins would walk down to the tortilleria and get the really warm corn tortillas to eat with our meal. And we would, instead of butter, we always used, we would like put mayonnaise on them and roll them up into little taquitos and dip them into our soup. So that is one of some of the few memories that I have when I was growing up. I think I'm going to leave it here. I just wanted you to get an idea of my life as a kid. I was always super precocious. If you know me now, you know that I'm outspoken, and that's gotten me in some trouble throughout my life. But I've also done a lot of good with it. But I was always just the outspoken little girl. Not to forget that any memory that I can recall, always my mom was there, but I had my sister. My sister was only a year old, and we traveled everywhere together. If you'll see pictures when we were young, I don't remember a time in my life when she wasn't there. So I always had my little sidekick with me. It could be a love-hate relationship, but any memories that I have of when I was a young kid always involved my sister. So I hope that you enjoyed this episode. I am looking forward to sharing more stories. I kind of will develop the format as we go along. I might just, do episodes based on a specific memory. But I'm so excited that everybody's here. I hope that my daughters know how much I love them and that they will find inspiration in these stories as well. Okay, talk to you guys next time.